We're gonna go into our next one. It's current swap meet competition now versus then.
Oh man! Can I?
Stupid YouTubers ruining.
Oh my God! You took the words right out of my mouth.
Go ahead, say it, bro. You can start it off.
All right, back then I felt like it was just me, bags of video games. Now YouTubers, game hunters, million people out there. And when I say back then, I started flea market and swap meet hunting back in like 2008. I want to say it was when I really started getting into it. And no joke, I used to take, this was in North Las Vegas, not the flea market here, but literally bags and bags of video games. At that time, most Nintendo games were $1, $2, $3, just all over the place, everywhere you could find. Nowadays, totally different world, totally different.
Do you think it's because of YouTube?
Yeah, probably a fair amount. Well, no, some of it, not all of it. A fair amount of it.
Majority on YouTube, you think, or no?
Probably 50% at least.
Okay.
Because, and it's not just you guys, of course. I mean, there's been thousands of game hunting videos for a solid many, many years now. And people love it. You know, it's exciting when and I like to watch them still. Even though I go out and hunt, I'll watch you guys hunting, to see what you guys are getting. It's awesome to watch that
I think I have to point out, because so many people have made it clear that they don't know. We have another, and most people don't know when I see the comments, we have another YouTube channel called Pixel Game Squad coming up in 100K where it's all about game hunting. So I just have to point out, because so many people are like, what are you talking about, this other game? You guys don't game hunt, you're a podcast. So yeah, so, and it's okay. I mean, really the way around it is get there earlier. You're now like a vampire hunter almost. You have to be there at 4 a.m. It seems like 4:30 versus I used to roll in at like 9, 10 o'clock. Ricky, do you think that what the competition is now is a lot of it's because there is more? Plain and simply, the answer is there's a ton of competition now.
Tons.
Do you think that we play, not necessarily us, but game hunters on YouTube play a huge part, or do you think it's something else?
I think it is a little bit us. I just think it's people like realizing like, dude, I forgot about this and I want it now. Like think of all the shows nowadays. Like when I watch
Toys That Made Us,
or what's that show with the kid?
Wonder Years, The Simpsons, Married with Children.
Dude, you're throwing my head off now.
Bundy.
At Goldberg's. So when you watch the Goldbergs, I want to buy like all that stuff. Like I want my old Transformers again. I'm like, dude, I have Transformers, but I want more. Like I feel like all these shows are also coming out, like showing you back at what you had back in the day. You're like, dude, I want that. I forgot all about that. So I feel like it's a lot of YouTubers because.
Well, and not even the game hunters also, because I'll say plead guilty when we're guilty. But also, I mean, besides the game hunters, there are a million YouTube channels before us like that aren't game hunting, like AVGN, Metal Jesus. Not saying I'm blaming these people. By the way, Metal Jesus, shout out. I love you, bro. He watches this channel.
We love you.
These guys are collecting stuff too, and whether that's fueling the swap meet, but it's definitely getting people like, oh, shoot, I forgot about this game. Oh, now I do want to find Action 52. I think it's like a mix of those things, right? People discover YouTube and they go, oh, shoot, look, those people are reviewing those really good games. And then they run across the Game Chasers or other hunting channels and go, oh, that's a good way to get them. The swap meet. Can I admit fully? Yeah. We've been, Ricky and I, and this is not tooting our horn. I always consider Ricky and I low tier people. But we will say that we have been to the swap meet more times than you can count. Thank you, everybody who watches and game hunts.
Seriously.
But where people are like, dude, I just found at this swap meet Bubble Bobble 2 right here. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. They're like, and I just started game hunting because I found your channel. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Dude, that has been as recent too.
That happens
at Golden West too.
Oh,
Yeah.
At our
yeah.
spot. Oh my God.
blowing
You
it
have
up.
no idea. I
Yeah,
mean,
like-
Ricky
Oh,
and
they
I-
let you know what they found.
Dude.
Oh,
when
yeah,
they
it's
show us, I'm
hilarious.
just like, dear God.
a couple weeks ago, those two guys are like, yeah, Pocky and Rocky 2, $5
Oh,
right before we got to
dude,
the
I
booth.
remember that one.
man.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know?
So how it's evolved for me now at the swap is when I used to hunt back in 08, and for years and years and years after that, I was always just video games, video games.
Yeah.
I have since long thrown that out. Chances of finding any video games are very, very minimal. I am happy coming home with I found 10 stacks of CDs. I got some cassettes. Oh, do it. Hold it in.
Well, I think a big way to combat, is that the word combat? The word combat game hunting. You know, that's really what it was. The swap meet was game hunting for such a long time. It was game hunting. But I think, which we talked about in earlier podcasts, diversifying our portfolio of what we collect completely has helped that, because I will say this. I admit that we played a big part, I admit, because we hear it. This isn't me gloating. I would never want to come off prideful, but we've heard it so many times that we know that a lot of people are going because of us.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed after that, like we first came out and we got, some notoriety and people started going out, a lot of those same people have also diversified what they're into. So a lot of those same people that I used to be like, oh crap, they're gonna want all the games. They've gone like, oh no, dude, I don't even care. I collect purses now. Oh no, dude, I do like vintage technology.
Yeah.
Oh, we have guys, even guys like Tony and them, who'll be like, oh yeah, here, dude, take this game. Like, go for it. Yeah, I don't really care. Like, I do this. Or like Blake, who collects adult things. And a lot of people, a lot of people collect different things. And I think that's how we have a friend on the channel. His name's Blake. His beautiful red hair.
Love
and he's a
Blake.
young guy, and he collects
More risque.
more questionable
Yeah,
items.
especially behind the curtain.
Yeah, he's got
All
these
that research.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Tony does that too.
And I would say, being on like having the camera out and all that, does that change the price of things when you go to a vendor? Sometimes.
Sometimes when it works, it works.
I like how
pretty
Ricky's,
good.
I like how Ricky's using it. He's like, oh yeah, when it works, it works.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say, in the beginning, and I have to admit, I don't like it now. Looking back, I don't necessarily like bargaining anymore with the camera on.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like it. And I didn't use it as a tool to be like, it was just to document it, right? Like, Pawn Stars or American Pickers or back then Game Chasers. That's who I was watching to get this inspiration from. And I'd be like, dude, I just want to get the deal on camera, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get it. Like, people want to see that negotiation. And no shame to anybody that does it. I mean, it's totally fine. But for some reason, in the past year, I've gotten more like, I don't really want to do the negotiations with the camera rolling, because I do know that there are people who will adjust the price because the camera's on. And I never want them to feel, and again, no shame to anybody doing it, I never want them to feel after like, oh man, I kind of did it for the camera. You know what I mean? I don't want them to feel like they were pushed into doing it. Now, I will say there are also businesses that are aware, that we have a channel, and they'll want us to come to their store or to their place to promote it and be like, yeah, please put the camera, put the negotiation. We want that because that's marketing, for them. It's smart marketing, You want your audience to see your store, whatever it may be. But in most cases now at the swap meet, though, I feel like the camera thing has kind of dwindled away. Sometimes I'll leave it on accident or something.
Yeah, we don't film that anymore. We don't film the negotiation.
Only with Chris.
That's a good.
I think dude, I'm telling you, like when I'm with them,
again.
when I'm with you guys, I just stop hunting because I'm like, once I go into a booth, it's like they see the camera, like, oh, these guys got the money.
Oh, that's true. It backfires
think it
too. I
backfires
forgot about
more?
that. Yeah, it does.
I forgot. A lot of people think that because you're in YouTube, you're a millionaire. And they're like, you got that YouTube money? And I'm like, I know, I'm broke. YouTube money is, let me say, on YouTube, I'll be completely forthcoming about it. The YouTube itself, if you're big, is great. But for where we're at, no, it's about like sponsorships and stuff like that. So the YouTube money itself is like, you're paying for gas money, all your things, your items, if you're lucky. So that YouTube money thing, you have to be pretty high level to be making what people consider YouTube money. Like, this guy's probably making 15 grand a month, on YouTube.
I'm curious what other items, when we talked about back to diversification, what are you guys, like, other than video games and maybe action figures, what else are you guys looking for when you're there? I'm curious.
Shirts, baby!
Shirts, display items.
Display items, hats.
Yeah.
Curtis, you're looking for
VHS.
hats.
Oh, yeah,
VHS.
Which is huge.
I'm always looking for paper too. I don't know.
Paper, you're like paper big
Dude, I
time.
mean, like, I found that thing that was from Boeing. It was like the mail order brides, and I was like, why am I buying this?
That's
And
how
then
you
you
got
got married.
Yes, I was going there too. I was going there too.
Dang, no
I mean, my
wonder.
wife is AI, right?
like a
Because I haven't. You guys technically.
Bro,
We
so
still, go for it.
Curtis, we've seen a picture of his wife.
Yeah.
Very beautiful woman, definitely above Curtis's level.
100%.
And we
Above my
make
pay
jokes
grade.
with him all the time. And we have yet to see her. We invited her to a party, never came around.
Doesn't
The other day,
exist.
I was teaching Curtis how to do like YouTube shorts, like teaching him. And
Yeah.
his wife was there, and bro, she was talking to me off camera. And I was like, it's like she's like Siri or something.
Hi,
Curtis is
Riff.
typing up.
How are you doing?
Hi, Riff. Hi, Riff. Good
Like,
morning.
turn it on, turn it on.
I love you, Curtis.
Poor Curtis. You're not my punching bag. I love you.
I love being the punching bag.
I'm buying your dinner tonight.
No,
again.
no, okay,
Oh wait,
but-
you can't go with us tonight. Perfect. You lost your chance.
All right, well, one of these things, I guess, we have answered this, but I kind of want to reiterate it. How do you find the motivation to keep this going for so long, even on your off days, finding things?
Honestly, it's to the point where it's a must, right? Like if I don't go, I almost don't feel as good, like mentally that day.
You're talking about hunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going to the swap meet or just
Yeah, I
hunting
mean, you
in
can
general,
have a day.
going out.
Yeah, and you
Man,
can have a
I
day.
am on board with you. It is such a part of my life.
Yep.
Like I don't feel right if I don't go out to the swap meet. It's so integral to my week, like feeling good, and not because I'm missing out on stuff. It's just so exciting.
I will say the FOMO is real too, though, bro. Like when I am like traveling, like I travel next weekend. I'm going to YouTube Summit with Caleb. I literally the other night was like laying in bed. I'm going, man, Ricky's going on Saturday. I'm gonna be there. My brain, I'm like, shoot, what's he gonna find? What's Dusty gonna have for him? And I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking like this, but it's a real thing. I'm like, and it's not even about the find necessarily. Of course, I say that, but I'm like, it's like that moment. I want to be there with Ricky and Chris and Curtis and Tony when they find that I'm go, dude, and I see the little smirk on Ricky's face when he's like stumbling and Curtis is over there and everyone. It's just it's a motivational must. And that's what keeps me motivated is just the fact. It's almost like going. I heard someone make a reference saying that he doesn't even drink coffee. He likes that feeling of going and the vibe of waking up, rubbing his eyes out and calling up Starbucks, placing order, showing up and being like, yep, over here, Riff, over here. And they give him his drink and he's almost like, I don't care about that. I wanted that fun of going. And I was like, that's interesting. I judged for a second in my head, but I'm like, wait, that's obviously, of course, I care about the items, but in my head, I'm like, that's kind of how I am with the games. Like I want that fun of going to get the items.
So I got over that. Like I still love the hunt, love finding stuff, hunting in general for all sorts of different things. But the idea of going to find like the big one or like gotta find like amazing pieces, like I lost that a long time ago. Maybe because I just didn't find those for a long time. When they happen, they're amazing.
Yeah.
But in between all those, there's a lot of just like, it was an average time. So I got very used to just being accepting of like, I still somehow come home with like bagfuls, a trunk full of stuff every time. And I'm okay with like not going every weekend. I'll miss some. So I don't have as much of the fear of missing out other than hanging with you guys, but I'm much more, you do still?
No. So for me, it's more of a, like, we've talked about it. It's more of like stress reliever. Like this is like where we go. It's our little world. Like where we, I don't know if it's,
social interaction.
Yeah, and we got all the boys, dude. It's not. It's fun to go because all the boys are there. It's like you meet so many people, so make so many friends.
It's very rare. I will tell you, from years of doing this on YouTube, a lot of the comments are people saying you guys don't know how lucky you are. Not about the swap meets, but to have a group of buddies who show up week after week and go hang out and just be buddies together. And I think that's something you couldn't. And it's funny. I've almost moved like 10 times. And I swear on my life, you guys think I'm kidding. One of the things that holds me back that I tell my wife is like, I can't leave. Like, I can't leave my boys. Like I can't imagine not having that part of my life. And it's not about, no, can't imagine not finding Mario. No, it's about, I can't not imagine texting you. Hey, you here? Okay, see you at the Chronic Taco after. Right, what time are you there? Hey, what'd you get? What do we? I just can't. That feeling of not having that to me, I don't know if it's like a child like needing to wean off of a blanket or something, but my brain's like, I need that. Like you said, it's like, I've heard Ricky at times when he's like, yeah, I can't go this weekend. And he's like, and I can hear it in his voice. He's like, I tell my wife, like, no, I need to go. Like,
I ask my wife every Friday night, I'm like, we doing anything on Saturday? She's like, nope. I'm like, okay, I'm going to the flea
I'm just
market.
glad my
going.
wife doesn't wake up in time for that. Like,
well, you can't set the AI to turn on until after 8.
She's still charging. But I'm with you. I think it is a very unique thing because I've hunted in Vegas where I hunted solo by myself at the flea market. It was always a solo experience. Getting up at the crack of dawn by yourself, spending all day by yourself.
Yep.
When I hunted in Connecticut, very much the same thing. Hunted other places. And this you guys have been hunting out here longer than I have.
Yeah.
So when I started hunting with you guys and Blake and then Chris, good friend, and other good friends, and now it's exponentially grown. I think it is a very, very unique situation.
So unique.
Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely love it. And where you're not competing with each other, really. You are, but you aren't. You're trying to find stuff, but you're very like.
I give big props to a lot of YouTube people who do it by themselves because when I'm by myself on those rare, very rare weekends when I'm like in Palm Springs or something with my family and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go to the store and I find something big, I'm like, yeah, yippee skippy. Like, where's everybody
Where's everybody
Where's
that
like
clapped?
the
I
cheering
know,
crowd?
you
Like, you
wanna
did it,
shout
man!
out.
Like, you're the best game hunter in the world. You know? Yeah. You know, it's like it's not obviously though. I'm exaggerating, but I don't get that same, and that for me really does prove to me that it's not about the stuff. Because I could find something really rare, and of course I'd be like, sweet, either there's a great piece for the collection, or oh, shoot, I can make good money on this and buy whatever I want. But without the people there, it just doesn't hit the same.
For me, there is one other thing that I do. So maybe because I did it by myself for a long time, where it is
True.
very meditative for me.
I get that.
So
I get that.
when I maybe messaged you guys last week, and I think I'd send you a couple pictures. I was there on a Sunday. Normally we go on a Saturday.
Yes.
I was there on a Sunday. It's a much different experience. All the hunters are gone. It's very quiet. There's still a lot of people there.
know.
Yeah.
It's different vendors.
Yeah.
But it's a Sunday. Sundays always feel a little bit different, right? But it was calm. It's peaceful.
Everyone's
It's-
at church.
Everybody's at church, and
for the
I can
heathens,
just
Chris.
cruise up and down. Yeah, I wasn't at church.
Chris's new game hunting channel, Hunting to Hell.
Oh man,
Sorry.
but it was very calm, and it's very, very, very soothing. That Sunday hunting. I'm not going to find big crazy stuff.
Well, I mean, not to rub it in your face, but Ricky and I went to a Sunday one time in the last year, and we found $4,000 of boxed Game Boy games.
Oh, you killed it. I think
that
you
was
really
that
told me
fine.
that.
Yeah,
That was
sorry,
crazy.
man.
Yeah,
You'll learn how to hunt one
my
day.
favorite was when my
Missed
favorite was
out
when
again.
Riff went to Florida and I sent him the picture of his Sonic binder he couldn't get.
Oh, dude, that almost ruined my vacation, bro. I was on vacation with my family, and we were in Florida for a really rad weekend and just hanging out. And he sends me a picture. He's like, "I found Sonic animation stuff," and I was like, "No, you didn't." And he sends me a picture. I'm like, honey, is there I think I left the stove on. we should probably cancel this vacation and get back home, dude.
You just see him start to put the gas on. He's like, I'm not going home.
And this
There's
is when
no
he's
way.
like, oh, and the Mario stuff's coming. And this was all that big animation thing we had. And this was like a big deal. And I literally remember being so this was one of the few times it was about the item. And he's like, what are you willing to pay on this stuff? Because he's like, I'll go in with you, do this and that, And I literally text him back, whatever it costs. Whatever it costs. He's like, I found Mario Brothers animation stuff. And he's like, how much do you go? And I said, whatever he says, pay it. And we don't need to disclose what we got it for, but we still get paid up. But it was, yeah. Like I said, of course, it's not all about the fines, but if it's something extremely mega rare, then of course the fine is going to be, front and center. If it's this crazy big, last night you almost got the Blockbuster stuff. We don't want to tell Chris or anything.
Yeah.
We don't need to go on it, but we almost bought some vintage major Blockbuster,
Crazy
giant
stuff.
Grails, Blockbuster drop-off game slot and all that stuff.
Wow,
But
that'd be awesome.
Didn't work out.
We're gonna have to close this out, and we're gonna say all the new podcasts will be linked into our description below, and we are very thankful for all the support and everything that we're doing. So
Wait, we got to give one shout out to the Christian podcast on Google.
Boom.
Go give them a 5-star review.
Give them a review.
That's where we're
Big
at
time
right
back
now. They are awesome people. We rent this studio space from them, and they are awesome people, good people, and they mean the world to us. They're changing our life one podcast at a time, for better or worse. Quick guess. How long until we're canceled? Anybody?
one more.
One more. Probably make it one more. All right. It's good knowing you guys. See you on Spotify.